We're out here in the garden today to have a look at the multicellular organism, the plant. So a plant originated from a single cell. That single cell grew and divided and divided and divided until there were many cells which make up this multicellular organism. Some of those cells specialize into shapes with a particular job to do, and as they group together in their different jobs, that forms a tissue. Just like in animals where you can have muscle tissue, we can have different types of tissue in a plant, like for example, photosynthetic tissue. So we have different tissues, they come together in different groups to make an organ with a different job. So there are four main organs in a plant. We have the reproductive organ, like we've got these flowers here. Their job is to attract insects if they're insect pollinated, or other pollinators like maybe birds or bats. They will produce seeds, and then a whole new generation of plants can be distributed far and wide, and new plants can grow from these reproductive organs. The leaf is an extremely important part of a plant. It's green. It contains a molecule called chlorophyll inside chloroplasts in some of the tissues inside this leaf. And the leaf's job is nutrition. So the leaves will capture sunlight energy and perform photosynthesis. So they will use that sunlight energy to combine carbon dioxide gas from the air, water, which has come up from the roots, to make a sugar molecule called glucose, and oxygen as a byproduct. And that's the way that plants eat. That's the only way they can get food, is through photosynthesis. And in order to do that, plants have leaves which are usually quite flat so that they can capture as much sunlight as possible. They're quite thin so that the carbon dioxide can diffuse from one side of the leaf to the other. And inside the leaf there are actually layers of tissues. The top layer is the epidermis that protects the leaf from drying out. Then there are photosynthetic layers called palisade mesophyll and spongy mesophyll, and they have the chloroplasts in them. And then there is a lower epidermis which also protects the leaf from drying out, but has specialized cells called guard cells and holes called stomata that allow gases in and out of the leaf. So the leaf structure is very complicated in order for photosynthesis to be optimized. Now, the leaf, when it makes its sugar, needs to send it to all the parts of the plant that are not green and can't make their own food. That's where the stem comes in. So you have a stem with transport tissue in it. And there are two types of transporting tissue. Xylem transports water, and phloem transports dissolved sugars. So inside the stem, and in fact radiating throughout the plant, you have transport network tissues, xylem and phloem, that take the water and the dissolved sugars to where they're needed in the plant. And the stem has another function in that it supports the plant in an upright position and helps the leaves to be supported so that they capture the amount of sunlight that will be optimum for photosynthesis. Now, at the other end of the plant, you have roots. Now, this plant's a little bit special because it has some aerial roots, which is great because we can see them. And roots, their job is twofold. One is to absorb water and any minerals from the soil, and the second one is to anchor the plant. Now, these aerial roots aren't really used for anchoring in this example, but they do absorb water from a humid atmosphere. So inside the roots, there's obviously xylem and phloem because they're going to pick up water and transport it, as well as some tissues that help to support the structure of the root. So those are our different organs of the plant: the root, the stem, the leaves, and the flowers. And we've already met a few names of different tissues in the plant, so xylem, phloem. And then inside the leaf, we've got our epidermis, and our palisade mesophyll and spongy mesophyll, and then another layer of epidermis at the bottom of a leaf.